Hi there, it's Michelle from Stepping Up, and I'm here to help you learn some tips and tricks to help your pediatric occupational therapy clients succeed. Today, we're going to be talking about developing the good old tripod pencil grip. Now, we know as pediatric occupational therapists that the three-fingered pencil grip is it's the most dynamic kind of highest level pencil grip that there is. It allows maximum sort of control and fluency and speed. And so, you know, for those younger kids, that's really what we're aiming for, what we really want to try and teach them if we can. So there's a few little tips and tricks that I'm going to go through today to help you guide your younger kiddos in developing a tripod pencil grip. So let's kick off. Let's get started. So what you need to do first is make sure that you've got the right gear. So this standard pencil here, for the types of children that we see that really struggle to develop that pencil grip, this standard pencil doesn't really give them much feedback about where their fingers are on the pencil shaft. So it can be really tricky. It's also quite slippery. It's quite slippery. So different strategies to help guide finger placement on the pencil. So the first one, very low tech, is using an elastic band. So it's just a standard elastic band that I have positioned where you want them to place their fingers. So it just gives them that extra little bit of tactile feedback for where they need to position it. So they're not kind of positioning it or slipping, their fingers are not slipping all the way down to the bottom, and they're not kind of holding it at the top. They know exactly where they need to hold it. Nice little bit of tactile feedback from that rubber band too. So that's a low-tech solution. You can also get pencils with these little textured bits. And this is kind of like you can't really see, but it's kind of like a tripod. It's kind of like a triangular pencil. So that's kind of guiding that finger placement as well. So you can try that with your kiddos. You can also get pencils that have little carvings, which can give that extra bit of tactile feedback too. So you can try that. The chubbier pencils, so you can get the triangular lead pencils or triangular colored pencils with the texture on them that are chubbier, and they can be easier to kind of hold and know where the fingers are as well. There's also, like, this is a pen or a texter if you're in Australia. So this one here is giving lots of tactile feedback for where the fingers should go. So you can try that one. That's just an idea. But you know what? For some kiddos, those kind of strategies don't really work, and they need a little bit more. So those are the children that you're going to move towards, like, different pencil grips. And there are a million different pencil grips on the market. And so what you want to do is you really want to test that out with a child and see what's going to work, because some might work for some children and others might not. And some children just absolutely hate pencil grips, and it makes their writing even more difficult for them. So yeah, you do need to take an individualized approach. My favorite is this cute little pencil grip here. It's called a crossover pencil grasp, and the reason that I love it, I'm just going to pop it on this pencil. The reason I love it is because, so they're popping their little fingers in here like this, and that one, there's a nice little contour bit for the thumb. So what it's doing is it's giving the fingers a really clear guide about where they should go. So something like this doesn't necessarily guide those fingers to exactly where they need to go. And some little fingers just need that extra bit of tactile feedback so that the child knows where their fingers are in space. So that's my little pro tip. I love this, and I have found a lot of success for children, for a lot of children with this one. Not all kids, but some kids really like that one. So yeah, just making sure you're getting the right tools is the first place to start. Another thing with tools is just thinking about, we use a lot of these little bits of broken off. This is a broken off bit of crayon. You can use broken off bits of chalk or broken off bits of pencils, because if you think about it, you can't, it's really hard to get all of your fingers on this like chubby little tiny little bit of crayon. So so yeah, little broken off bits of chalk. And chalk is great because it's really giving a lot of resistance as you're drawing on it. Same with crayon, so it's giving more feedback. But yeah, so some little broken off bits can be helpful too. Okay, so the other thing you want to do is you want to kind of lead by example. So you want to make sure that they know what they're aiming for, what the tripod pencil grip is. You can get little gloves that kind of tuck away the other two fingers that shouldn't be involved. So you can do that if they don't have that kind of awareness. The other thing you can do is just pop a little pom-pom into their palm. And I always say, these two fingers, they're going on a holiday. That they don't need to be busy when we're writing. They're just popping off on a holiday. There they go, they're away. And so some children really do struggle to isolate the two sides of their palm. And so just having a little palm guide, it can be a pom-pom, it can be like a little bit of crayon or whatever you've got, can be useful to help them isolate those fingers as they're writing and developing that tripod grip. So other things that you want to do are sort of thinking about developing the hand strength and general coordination, just in general play. So you want to make sure that they're really developing their palmar arches, and they're doing that by, all crawling on all fours, and that kind of gross motor play will help to develop those the intrinsic muscles. But also, Play-Doh, we love hiding marble in Play-Doh or in putty, and then finding it, because that's really working on all those intrinsic muscles. I love that, just little games, there's lots of little games. So what you're doing is you want them to tuck away those other two fingers, that they're on holiday, they don't need to play today. And so yeah, we're just going to pick up the little shark. Oh, look at him, we'll put him back in. So any kind of game where you're just isolating those fingers. Peg games or tong games, again, where these two fingers are tucked away, and oh, here it comes. It's a hungry duck. Quack, 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 quack. Oh, it's going to eat that. Nom, nom, nom. So we're again just really working on moving these fingers while we're isolating those ones, and they're not working. Also moving their fingers dynamically. So this is just a little spinning top, but you can, there's a million different ways you can work on this. So again, we're just working on tucking those fingers away while these ones are working. Little spray bottles are good too, again. So again, you're just making sure that those fingers are tucked away or they're not working, and these are the two that are working. So yeah, kids just do need to learn how to isolate the two sides of their hand. So this is the stabilizing side, and this is the mobility side. So it's a good little way to try and tuck that away like that. So there are lots and lots of different ideas, and this is just to give you a little taster of what to do. What we do know is that not all kiddos will go on to develop the beautiful dynamic tripod pencil grasp that we all aspire to. And you probably work with some OTs who have some unusual grasps, and they've made it through uni and they're pretty successful people. So it's not the end of the world. If your child doesn't have that beautiful dynamic tripod pencil grasp, not the end of the world. What we know is that many children who have not quite that high level grasp can go on to be very functional writers. So what we do here in our clinic is that if a child is kind of over 7, we found that it's very tricky for them to change their grasp. So even if we're using all the pencil grips and all the different strategies, it can be really frustrating for them to have a therapist try and make them change their grip, and it can slow them down and just be very frustrating. So what we believe is that once a child's grip is established, so kind of around that 7, what we do is we just try to maximize the function of the grip that they've got. So we try to look at the fluency and the speed that they have with that grip, and we try to, maximize that for them. And yeah, and we, these children are often quite functional riders, and they don't need that tripod pencil grip. But when they're younger, we do try to aim for it, because we know that it offers the highest level of kind of comfort and fluency and speed as that kiddo gets older. But yep, so there's some top tips for this week, but keep tuning in because there'll be more top tips coming your way. Thank you. Bye-bye.